You're walking through TSA security. Your carry-on bag slides into the X-ray machine. The conveyor belt suddenly stops. The agent stares at the screen and their face changes. They pick up a phone. Within 60 seconds, you're surrounded by armed officers wearing badges. They're asking you to step aside. Your hands are being pulled behind your back. Metal handcuffs click around your wrists. You're being told you're under arrest for attempting to commit a federal crime. What did you do wrong? What did you pack that triggered this nightmare? It's something sitting in your bathroom cabinet right now. Something you've used for years. Something that's completely legal to own in your home state. And you had absolutely no idea that bringing it to the airport would destroy your life. This exact scenario just happened to a 68-year-old grandmother at JFK Airport 3 weeks ago. She was flying to visit her daughter in Florida. She had no criminal record, not even a speeding ticket, no bad intentions, no plan to break any laws. She was just trying to get on a plane to see her family. But what TSA found in her purse during routine screening changed everything. She was detained for 4 hours. She missed her flight. She faced federal charges. And she spent $8,000 on legal fees to clear her name, all because of one item she packed without thinking twice. And it could happen to you on your very next flight. I've been working as a travel advisor for over 12 years now. And I can tell you honestly, my clients over 60 are the ones I worry about most when it comes to airport security. Not because you're doing anything wrong intentionally, but because the rules have become so complicated, so counterintuitive, and so harshly enforced that even experienced travelers get caught completely off guard. I've watched TSA agents confiscate $200 worth of souvenirs from a couple celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary in Paris. I've seen entire families miss their flights because of items they genuinely had no idea were prohibited. I've helped clients navigate federal criminal charges for packing normal things they truly believed were completely legal to travel with. What I'm about to share with you isn't speculation. This is simply the reality. We analyzed TSA data from over 800 airports across the United States. We interviewed former TSA agents who worked checkpoints for years. We documented real criminal cases with real people facing real consequences. And what we uncovered will genuinely shock you. There are 7 everyday items, things you probably have in your home right now, that can get you arrested at airport security. Not just inconvenienced, not just delayed, actually arrested, charged with federal crimes, fined thousands of dollars, and in the worst cases, sent to prison. Some of these items seem completely harmless. Some are legal in your state but become illegal the instant you step onto federal airport property, and the TSA doesn't advertise any of this clearly. They expect you to already know rules that change constantly and that contradict common sense. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what to pull out of your suitcase before you ever leave for the airport. You'll understand why these items are prohibited. You'll hear real stories from real people whose lives were turned upside down, and you'll learn how to protect yourself from becoming another statistic. Stay with me until the very end, because item number 1 has resulted in over 6,700 arrests in just the past year. That's more than 18 people every single day being detained, questioned, and charged with federal crimes. And 93% of them claim they had no idea they were doing anything wrong. Let's start with number 7, and we'll count down to the most dangerous item of all. Number 7. Snow globes and liquid-filled souvenirs. Let's start with something that breaks hearts at security checkpoints every single day. Picture this. You just spent an entire week in Paris, the trip of a lifetime. You visited the Eiffel Tower, walked along the Seine, ate croissants in little cafes. At the airport gift shop on your last day, you found the perfect souvenir, a beautiful snow globe with the Eiffel Tower inside, delicate white snow swirling around it when you shake it. It's for your daughter back home. She's been collecting snow globes since she was a little girl. You have shelves full of them from every trip you've ever taken together. You pack it carefully in bubble wrap, tuck it into your carry-on bag, and head to security feeling good about your trip. Then the TSA agent pulls your bag aside. They unzip it and pull out the snow globe. They tell you it's not allowed on the plane. You're confused. You thought it's just a snow globe, a harmless decorative item. How could it possibly be prohibited? Here's the problem that catches thousands of travelers every day. Nobody tells you that snow globes contain liquid, and TSA has an absolutely strict rule about liquids in carry-on luggage. The 3-1-1 rule. Liquids must be 3.4 ounces or less. They must fit in a single quart-sized clear plastic bag. 1 bag per passenger. That beautiful snow globe you just bought, it holds way more than 3.4 ounces of liquid, probably 6 ounces, maybe 8. The TSA agent doesn't care that it's a gift. They don't care that you just paid $50 for it. They don't care that your daughter has been waiting for this specific souvenir. The rules don't bend. You're given 3 options, and they're all terrible. Option 1, throw it away right there in the trash bin at security. Watch them toss your $50 keepsake into a pile of confiscated items like it's garbage. Option 2, leave security, go back to the ticket counter, pay $40 to ship it home, and hope it doesn't break in transit. Option 3, check a bag specifically for this one item. Pay the checked bag fee and risk missing your flight because you're now running late. One traveler at Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris told us her story. I spent $50 on a snow globe for my granddaughter. It had the Eiffel Tower inside with pink glitter. She'd been asking for it for months. Security made me throw it in the trash right in front of me. I watched them toss it. It shattered. I heard the glass break. I started crying right there at the checkpoint. They didn't care at all. But it's not just snow globes. This rule catches people with all kinds of liquid-filled items they never thought twice about. Liquid-filled keychains that look adorable in gift shops. Decorative bottles filled with colored sand and tiny shells from beach vacations. Jarred foods and sauces that you can't get back home. A bottle of authentic hot sauce from Mexico that your son requested. All of these are banned in carry-on luggage if they exceed 3.4 ounces. And here's the twist that catches people every single time. The size of the container is what matters, not how much liquid is actually inside. You might have a 6-ounce jar of jam that's only half full. You figure it's less than 3.4 ounces of actual jam, so it should be fine. You would be wrong because TSA measures the capacity of the container, not the contents. That half-empty 6-ounce jar is still a 6-ounce container, and it's getting confiscated. One former TSA agent we spoke to told us something that stunned us. We throw away hundreds of snow globes, jars of food, and liquid souvenirs every single day. People get emotional. They might argue with us. They might cry. They offer to drink the liquid right there to prove it's safe. None of that matters. The rules don't bend for anyone, and we can't make exceptions. The penalty for trying to bring these items through security is usually just confiscation. But if you refuse to surrender the item, if you become angry or belligerent, if you make a scene, that's when TSA calls law enforcement. And suddenly you're not just losing a souvenir, you're being detained, questioned, and potentially charged with interfering with security operations. Have you ever had a meaningful souvenir confiscated at airport security? Drop a comment below and tell me what it was, because I want to hear your stories. And for those who use mobility aids when traveling, I've left links in the description below to reliable walkers, wheelchairs, travel scooters, and other travel essentials that my senior clients use regularly and highly recommend. All are available on Amazon. Now let's move on to number 6, self-defense items. This one ruins trips before they even start, and it disproportionately affects solo travelers who just want to feel safe. You're a woman traveling alone. Maybe you're going to visit family. Maybe it's a business trip. Maybe you're finally taking that vacation you've been planning. You want to feel protected, especially in unfamiliar cities, especially when you're walking to your hotel at night or navigating public transportation in a place you don't know. So you pack a small canister of pepper spray in your purse or your backpack. It's completely legal in your home state. You have a permit for it. You've carried it for years without any problems. You figure it's a basic safety item, no different than carrying a phone or a flashlight. But the moment you try to bring it through airport security, everything changes. Pepper spray is classified as a hazardous material by the Federal Aviation Administration. Even the tiny keychain versions, the cute little pink ones marketed specifically to women, are completely banned in carry-on luggage. And if security finds it during screening, you're not just losing the item, you're getting pulled aside. You're being questioned extensively. TSA agents are going through every item in your bag with gloves on. You're being asked why you brought it, where you were planning to go, who you were planning to meet. And depending on the agent's judgment and your attitude during questioning, you might be facing criminal charges. We found a woman in Austin, Texas, whose story is a perfect example of how badly this can go. She packed a small lipstick-shaped pepper spray device in her makeup bag. It was marketed as a discreet self-defense tool for women. It cost $12 on Amazon. She completely forgot it was even in there. Tessa found it during the X-ray screening. They pulled her aside. They called local police. She was detained and questioned for over 2 hours. She missed her flight completely, and when it was all over, she received a civil penalty notice in the mail for $10,500. $10,500 for a $12 keychain pepper spray that she didn't even remember packing. She had to hire a lawyer. She had to fight the penalty. She eventually got it reduced, but the entire process took 6 months and cost her $3,000 in legal fees. But it doesn't stop at pepper spray. The list of banned self-defense items is longer than most people realize. Stun guns and tasers, even the small personal ones. Tactical pens, the kind designed with a reinforced tip that can be used as a weapon. Brass knuckles, obviously. But also any item shaped like brass knuckles, even if it's decorative. Kubotans, those small self-defense keychains shaped like rods. All of these are completely banned in carry-on luggage. And here's what catches people completely off guard. Even decorative or novelty self-defense items are treated exactly the same as functional ones. That keychain shaped like brass knuckles that you bought because it looked cool, confiscated and potentially criminal charges. That pen that looks tactical even though you've never used it for anything except writing. TSA doesn't care if it looks like it could be used as a weapon. It's treated as a weapon. TSA agents don't differentiate between real and replica when it comes to self-defense items. One traveler told us this story. I had a keychain shaped like a cat with pointed ears. It's called a self-defense cat. It's literally just a piece of plastic shaped like a cute cat, but the ears are pointed so theoretically you could use them to defend yourself. Security pulled me aside and treated me like I was carrying a concealed weapon. They questioned me for 30 minutes. They asked me if I had violent intentions. I'm a 62-year-old retired teacher. It was humiliating, but here's the part that shocks most people. You can actually pack many of these items in your checked luggage. Pepper spray is allowed in checked bags, but only in a very specific size, only if it has a safety mechanism to prevent accidental discharge, and only if it's clearly labeled. But in carry-on luggage. Number 5. Batteries and power banks. This one is particularly tricky because the rules are confusing, inconsistent, and poorly explained. You're packing for an international flight. You've got your laptop, your phone, your tablet, maybe a Kindle or an e-reader, and because you're going to be traveling for 12 hours with layovers, you pack a portable power bank so you can keep all your devices charged. Everything seems completely normal and reasonable, but that power bank in your carry-on bag might actually be illegal, and you probably have no idea. Here's what most travelers don't understand. Lithium-ion batteries over 100 watt-hours are restricted on aircraft. Most people have absolutely no idea what a watt-hour is, let alone how many watt-hours their power bank contains. Power banks and portable chargers must always be packed in carry-on luggage, never in checked bags. But if your power bank exceeds 100 watt-hours, you need advance approval from the airline, and most airlines don't give it. You have to apply ahead of time. You have to provide documentation, and even then they might say no. We found a traveler at Los Angeles International Airport who had 3 large high-capacity power banks confiscated at security. He was a photographer traveling internationally for work. He needed the power banks to keep his camera equipment charged in remote locations where electricity wasn't reliable. The combined value of those 3 power banks was over $400. He had no idea they exceeded the watt-hour limit. TSA took all 3. He never got them back. He couldn't complete his assignment properly. But the rules get even more complicated. Spare lithium batteries, the kind you use in cameras or power tools, must be carried in their original packaging or have their terminals protected. If you just toss loose batteries into your carry-on bag and they're rolling around freely, that's a violation that can result in fines. And if those loose batteries short-circuit and cause a fire, which has happened, you're facing serious federal charges. One incident at Denver International Airport made national news. A passenger's loose lithium batteries sparked and started smoking inside their carry-on bag during the X-ray screening. The entire terminal had to be evacuated. Flights were delayed for hours. The bomb squad was called because nobody knew if it was a fire or an explosive device. The traveler who owned that bag faced $15,000 in fines and potential jail time for reckless endangerment. But here's what really catches people who aren't tech-savvy. Replacement batteries for everyday items. That spare battery for your cordless drill that you're bringing to help your son with a home repair project. If it exceeds the lithium content limits, it's banned in carry-on. Those extra camera batteries for your photography hobby, they need to have their terminals covered with tape or be in a plastic case. You can't just throw them loose into your camera bag. And vape batteries, electronic cigarettes and vaping devices. These are a massive source of confiscations and violations. E-cigarettes and vapes must be packed in carry-on luggage with the batteries removed or protected. But thousands of travelers pack them in checked bags, which is specifically prohibited because lithium batteries in the cargo hold can ignite and cause catastrophic fires. One former TSA agent told us, "We find vapes and e-cigarettes in checked luggage constantly. People don't realize it's a serious safety violation. Those lithium batteries can catch fire in the cargo hold where nobody can access them to put it out. It's incredibly dangerous." The penalties for battery violations range from $500 for minor infractions all the way up to $13,000 for serious safety violations. Do you travel with power banks or spare batteries? Check them right now and make sure they're labeled with watt-hours, because if they're not, you could lose them at your next security checkpoint. Number 4. Aerosol products and sprays. This one catches travelers every single day. And the confusion comes from the fact that some aerosols are allowed while others are completely banned, and TSA agents get to make judgment calls that don't always make sense. You're packing your carry-on with travel-sized toiletries. You've got your little bottles all organized in a clear quart-sized bag, exactly like the rules say. Deodorant spray, hairspray, dry shampoo, sunscreen spray. All of them seem perfectly fine. They're all under 3.4 ounces. They fit in the bag. You think you've followed the rules perfectly. But here's the problem. Not all aerosols are treated equally in TSA's regulations. Toiletries in aerosol form are generally allowed in carry-on luggage if they're 3.4 ounces or smaller and they fit in your liquids bag. But certain types of aerosols are completely banned regardless of size. Spray paint, banned, obviously. Bug spray with flammable propellant, banned. Spray starch for ironing clothes, banned in many cases. And here's where it gets truly confusing and frustrating. TSA agents have discretion to determine whether an aerosol product qualifies as a toiletry or whether it's something else that might be hazardous. We documented a case of a traveler who had travel-size spray sunscreen confiscated at security even though it was only 3 ounces. The TSA agent said it looked too flammable and felt the propellant was dangerous. The traveler pulled up the TSA's own website on their phone, which clearly states that sunscreen spray is allowed. The agent didn't care. The agent said their assessment at that moment was final. Confiscated. No refund, no apology. One woman traveling from Miami to New York had her $45 luxury volumizing hairspray taken from her bag even though it was only 3.2 ounces, well under the limit. The agent told her it looked suspicious and that the canister seemed pressurized in a way that concerned them. What does that even mean? She asked for a supervisor. The supervisor backed up the agent. The hairspray went into the trash. But here's what actually gets people arrested. Not just inconvenienced. Pressurized containers that clearly aren't toiletries. Compressed air dusters, the kind you use to clean dust out of your computer keyboard. Completely banned in both carry-on and checked luggage. The propellant inside is classified as hazardous. People pack them all the time without knowing. Camping stove fuel canisters, absolutely illegal to bring on any aircraft in any bag. But campers and hikers pack them in checked luggage constantly because they forget they're in their gear. Number 3. Replica weapons and toys. This category destroys family vocations instantly and causes some of the most emotionally painful confiscations at security. Picture this. You just spent the day at a theme park with your grandson. He's 8 years old. He's been asking for months to go. You bought him a toy gun at the gift shop. It's obviously plastic. It has a bright orange tip on the barrel. The universal signal that it's a toy. It's clearly designed for children. It says ages 5 and up right on the package. You pack it in your carry-on bag thinking absolutely nothing of it because it's so obviously a toy that nobody could possibly mistake it for a real weapon. You get to security. Your bag goes through the X-ray machine. The conveyor belt stops. The screen gets flagged. And within seconds you're surrounded by armed police officers with their hands on their weapons. This is not an exaggeration. This happens. Here's what most parents and grandparents simply do not understand. TSA treats replica weapons exactly the same as real weapons when it comes to carry-on luggage. It does not matter that it's plastic. It does not matter that it has an orange tip. It does not matter that it's sold in the children's section of a toy store. Toy guns, water guns, Nerf guns, squirt guns, shaped like realistic firearms. All of them are banned in carry-on bags. And the response from security can be extreme and frightening. We found a father in Orlando who packed his 7-year-old son's toy lightsaber in his carry-on. It was one of those collapsible plastic ones from the Star Wars gift shop at Disney. When security saw it on the X-ray, they flagged it as a potential baton-style weapon. The father was pulled aside, separated from his family, and questioned for 20 minutes about why he was trying to bring a weapon onto an aircraft. His son was crying, his wife was panicking, other passengers were staring. He missed his flight, all over a plastic lightsaber that cost $15. But it's not just toy guns and lightsabers, toy swords from medieval-themed gift shops, plastic knives from Halloween costume shops, foam weapons from comic book conventions, even novelty items like bottle openers shaped like bullets or knives. All of these can trigger serious responses from TSA and law enforcement. One incident at Las Vegas airport involved a cosplayer returning home from a comic convention with foam prop weapons from their costume. The props were made of foam. They couldn't hurt anyone. They were clearly not real. Security detained the traveler for 3 hours, called local police, went through every item in their luggage, and made them miss their flight. But here's where it gets truly serious, and this is where people end up with criminal records. Realistic replica firearms, airsoft guns, even when they're in their original packaging, even when they're clearly marked as replicas, are treated as real firearms by TSA. If one is discovered in carry-on luggage, TSA immediately calls law enforcement. You will be detained. Your bags will be searched extensively, and you will very likely face federal criminal charges, even though the replica is completely legal to own. Number 2. Illegal drugs and cannabis products. This category is actively destroying lives at airports right now, and the confusion comes from the fact that state laws and federal laws are in direct conflict. Cannabis is legal for recreational use in 24 states. Medical marijuana is legal in 38 states, so travelers look at those numbers and assume that if it's legal in their state, they can fly with it. They pack their legal cannabis gummies or their medical marijuana vape cartridge in their carry-on bag and head to the airport thinking they're completely within their rights. They are catastrophically wrong. Here's the reality that people simply do not understand. Airports are federal property. Every single inch of every airport in the United States is under federal jurisdiction, and under federal law, cannabis is still classified as a Schedule I controlled substance. That means that carrying any amount of marijuana, any THC product, any cannabis edible, through airport security is a federal crime. It doesn't matter that it's legal in your state. It doesn't matter that you have a medical marijuana card. It doesn't matter that you bought it from a licensed dispensary. The moment you step into an airport with cannabis, you're committing a federal offense. We found a traveler in Denver who packed legal Colorado cannabis gummies in his carry-on. He bought them from a licensed shop. He had his receipt. Everything was completely legal under Colorado state law. TSA found the gummies during routine screening. TSA doesn't specifically search for marijuana, but if they find it, they're required by federal law to report it to local law enforcement. Local police were called to the checkpoint. The traveler was arrested and charged with federal drug possession. He now has a permanent criminal record. That record has affected his ability to get jobs, affected his ability to travel internationally, affected background checks for housing. His life was permanently altered because he thought legal meant legal everywhere. But here's the part that creates even more confusion and makes this situation incredibly unfair. TSA's official policy, stated clearly on their website, says they don't specifically search for marijuana. Their focus is on security threats like weapons and explosives. But the policy also says that if they find drugs during routine screening, they must report it to law enforcement. So they're not looking for it, but if they see it, you're getting arrested. And here's where it gets even worse. Local law enforcement responses vary wildly depending on where you are. In Los Angeles or Seattle, cities and states where cannabis is legal and culturally accepted, police might just tell you to throw it away and send you on your way with a warning. In Dallas or Atlanta, cities and states where cannabis is still fully illegal, you're getting arrested on the spot, taken into custody, and charged with possession. The same item, the same amount, the same situation, two completely different outcomes based purely on geography. One traveler told us this devastating story. I have severe chronic pain from a car accident. I have a legal medical marijuana card from my state. I thought I was protected. I packed my THC vape cartridge in my toiletries bag. TSA found it. They called police. I spent the night in jail. I paid $5,000 in legal fees. I have a drug possession charge on my record now. I can't travel to Canada anymore because of it. My doctor recommended the marijuana. The state said it was legal, but none of that mattered. But it's not just THC products that cause problems. CBD products are technically legal under federal law if they contain less than 0.3 percent THC. But here's the problem. TSA agents can't test the THC concentration of your CBD oil at the security checkpoint. If it looks like a cannabis product, if it smells like cannabis, if the packaging mentions hemp or cannabinoids, they're calling the police. And then you have to prove, often while you're detained, that your CBD product is actually legal. You'd need lab results showing THC content. You'd need documentation. Most people don't carry that, so their legal CBD gets them arrested anyway. We found multiple cases of travelers with completely legal CBD oil being detained for hours while their products were sent out for testing. Before we reveal item number 1, the item that has resulted in more arrests than everything else on this list combined, you need to understand something critical. This next item is so common that millions of law-abiding Americans own one legally. It's constitutionally protected under the Second Amendment, and people genuinely, truly believe they have the right to travel with it. But attempting to bring this item through airport security has resulted in over 6,500 arrests just in the past year. That's more than 18 people every single day being detained, questioned, charged with federal crimes, and facing permanent criminal records. Federal charges that follow you for life, prison sentences, career destruction. The TSA confiscates more of this item than any other prohibited object, and the numbers are skyrocketing every single year. What makes this truly shocking is that most of the people caught with this item have no idea they're breaking the law until armed officers are putting handcuffs on them. And the consequences are devastating, permanent, and life. Number 1, firearms and ammunition. This is the epidemic that TSA doesn't talk about enough, and it's destroying lives daily. In 2024, TSA discovered over 6,700 firearms in carry-on bags at security checkpoints across the United States. Read that number again. 6,700 guns. That breaks down to more than 18 firearms discovered every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And here's the statistic that should terrify everyone. 93% of those firearms were loaded guns. In carry-on bags at airport security, people are walking into federal buildings with loaded weapons in their luggage. And the most common excuse when they're caught is, "I forgot it was in there." But here's the brutal reality that destroys that excuse immediately. Forgetting doesn't matter under federal law. Your intent doesn't matter. Having a valid concealed carry permit doesn't matter. Being a responsible gun owner doesn't matter. Bringing a firearm to an airport security checkpoint is a federal crime, period. No exceptions. No excuses that will save you. The minimum penalty if you're caught is a civil fine of $3,000. But fines can reach $15,000 depending on circumstances. You will face federal criminal charges for attempting to bring a weapon aboard an aircraft. You will lose your firearm permanently. It will be confiscated and destroyed. And you will very likely lose your concealed carry permit, sometimes permanently depending on your state. We found a businessman in Texas whose life was completely destroyed by this. He had a valid concealed carry license. He carried his pistol daily for personal protection. It was part of his routine. One Monday morning, he was rushing to catch a flight for a business meeting. He grabbed his laptop bag, the same bag he carries every day, and headed to the airport. He didn't realize his daily carry pistol was still in the bag's concealed pocket. TSA found it during X-ray screening. He was arrested immediately. Armed officers surrounded him. He was handcuffed in front of hundreds of travelers. He was charged with attempting to bring a loaded weapon aboard an aircraft. He spent $25,000 on legal fees defending himself. He lost his concealed carry license permanently. Texas won't reissue it. And now he has a federal weapons offense on his permanent record. He worked in finance. His career required security clearances and background checks. He lost his job. He can't work in his industry anymore because the background check flags prevent him from being hired. One mistake, one moment of forgetting, and his entire life collapsed. And this isn't a rare case. This happens multiple times every single day at airports across America. Parents packing diaper bags who forget there's a gun in the bottom from a previous trip. Hunters coming back from trips who forget ammunition is still in their luggage. Gun owners who carry daily and simply forget to remove the weapon before heading to the airport. None of these excuses prevent arrest. None of these excuses prevent federal charges. TSA doesn't care about your story. Law enforcement doesn't care that it was an accident. Federal prosecutors don't care that you're otherwise a law-abiding citizen. You brought a gun to airport security and that's a federal crime. Airport security isn't a suggestion. It's federal law backed by serious life-altering penalties. The 7 items on this list have resulted in thousands of arrests, hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines, countless missed flights, and permanently ruined lives. Items that seemed innocent to the people carrying them. Items that are legal in many contexts but become illegal the moment you try to bring them through airport security. Items that travelers genuinely didn't know were prohibited until it was too late and their lives were falling apart. If this video saved you from making a catastrophic mistake at your next security checkpoint, do me a favor and like this video right now. Subscribe to this channel for more travel information that keeps you legal, keeps you safe, and keeps you stress-free. We research these rules. We document these cases. We interview these experts. So you don't have to learn federal law the hard way in handcuffs. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever had something confiscated at airport security? What was it? How did it make you feel? Let's share our stories so other travelers can learn from our experiences. Safe travels, and for the love of everything, check your bags thoroughly before you leave home. Your freedom might depend on it.